Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Sunday, ruled by the sun. February 11th, and the energies in the day adds up. We're induced to number 3 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to today's energy, Jupiter is amplifying the day because the energies in the day does add up and reduce to number 3 vibration. And the sun is the ruler of the day. So with the sun and Jupiter, immediately I felt this warmth, this big energy. I feel like for a lot of us since Thursday, things have been going pretty interesting. And yesterday, for some of us, maybe some things may have stirred up to where, you know, not necessarily a clash of the ego, but maybe, you know, someone feeling tried or tested or undermined is the word that comes to mind when it comes to that. And I feel like today's energy feels somewhat of that, but I felt a warmth when it came to today. So to me, a warmth in the sense of there could be optimism and playfulness and moving on from, say, yesterday's vibe, or to me with the moon and Pisces energy, positively aspecting Mars, conjunct Pluto. Pluto's in Aquarius, Mars is in Capricorn, and Venus in Capricorn. And so I feel like it could be more like a passive, aggressive vibe when it comes to today, but not like that doesn't have to be a bad thing. And when I say passive, and maybe not even aggressive, maybe just passive in the sense that like, you know, it's almost like the song that's coming to mind, "B Don't Kill My Vibe." It's like that kind of energy. It's like I don't want to get like good vibes only is what I'm getting from today's energy. And the sun is in Aquarius and it's being squared by Uranus and Taurus. So when it comes to the sun in Aquarius, it's like, when it comes to, say, who we identify as, is being restricted or challenged by the lack of freedom that we might feel that we don't have when it comes to our security and our stability. So I think about the square of the sun and Uranus and Taurus. What it brings me to is, okay, how would I put this? A conversation that I was having with someone, and they were talking, someone who's very political and into politics and things like that. And they were talking about the border issues and, you know, people coming into the country and this, like, things like that, this, that, and the next, blah, blah, blah. For me, when it comes to politics and different things like that, I feel like no matter who is in power, like, I'm gonna have to figure out how to survive anyway. So at the end of the day, like, I just trust that I'm gonna be good. So I don't really waste a lot of attention on that. But when I look at this aspect, it reminds me of the conversation with the person and how that person felt like their security and their stability was being threatened because of restrictions, and also to the whole border situation playing a part of that. So that's not going to be the case for everyone, because I bet a lot of people here isn't into politics and things like that. So this could look different. This could look different for everyone. But what I get mostly is something about security and stability, even though tomorrow I feel like more focus will be on security and stability. But when it comes to today's energy, it's almost like something about freedom might feel restricted. Freedom and identity feels restricted or limited, or one feels like they have to compromise to a certain extent because of restrictions that they might be dealing with in some way or the next. When it comes to the spirit animal, we have the elk. And when I look at the elk energy, the elk always brings me to surrender. It brings me to security. It brings me to stability. It brings me to surrender. If you look at the image, the elk is doing what elks do. And the sun is blessing the antlers, you know, blessing the antlers of the elk. This brings me, and I look at the sun energy and what it's doing. It's almost like the elk's antlers. Is it antlers? It's almost like they're antennas, and the sun is a satellite, and it's pretty much sending signals, sending messages. Maybe the signals and the messages sending is nurturing. It's not elevating, but I think of being nurtured, energizing. That's the word that I was trying to think of, energizing. So when it comes to the energies in today, it brings me to, like I mentioned, when I got to today's energy, I felt this warmth. And okay, I get it now. So when it comes to the energies in today, to me, the energies in today is an example of the universe trying to direct your energy to a positive space because you're about to be blessed or an opportunity wants to come into your world. That clicked to me the other day, how when we're close to attracting something major or bringing something major into our world, it's like the energy and what it is that we're feeling, imagine it to be a temperature. And if we allow ourselves to get frustrated, angry, or sad, any emotion deals with fear, it shifts our temperature in the direction that we don't want it to. And it's important for us to keep our temperature within a certain direction so it can be in alignment with those things that are coming in our world. And when we allow for fear or different things to frustrate us and bring on negative emotions, it brings our temperature away from where it needs to be for us to be in alignment with what's coming in. I remember the other day I was on my walk and I was frustrated about something. I was annoyed about something. I remember, you know, waking up and instead of like just getting outside right away, I checked in with a few things that caused me to not be in the best mood. And while I was walking, I had to turn off the music, or some days I listen to a podcast or an audiobook or whatever. But I had to turn all of that off and address what was happening within me, because listening to anything, like once you get to a point where you spend time in silence and you reflect often and things like that, whenever you're going through something and instead you want to like block it out with watching something or doing whatever it is that you do will feel super loud. So it's like the music felt loud, the podcast felt loud, everything that I was listening to felt like noise, because I could feel the child within me like, you need to listen to me now. So it's like I stopped and I did whatever I had to do to bring myself back to balance. The way, you know, different people have different methods of shifting their energy back. The way how I shift my energy is through through communication, is through my mind, in the sense like if I'm pissed off or annoyed by something, like I have to address it. And for me, addressing it is first becoming aware what the issue is, what the concern is. And then once I become aware of what the issue or the concern is, then I go through a process of asking myself questions. Because once I ask myself questions and, you know, come to the realization that there's no truth in whatever it is that I'm believing or thinking that's causing this uneasiness within me. Once I address the bully within me, the monster in the closet, it's like addressing a liar and asking them questions. And from their own questions, they pretty much have no choice but to admit that they're a liar just from the questions that they answer. It's like after addressing that part of myself, then I come up with affirmations to replace that negative thought. But I can't come up with affirmations to replace that negative thought until I address it and make a liar out of it, because it is, because all of your limited beliefs are lies that you've picked up somewhere. So once I address it, reaffirm it, then I start repeating the reaffirmation. And for me, it shifts the energy within me. It shifts the energy within me. Where for me, I can't just burn something and do this and do that, because that thing in me still wasn't addressed. So it's going to find its way, like my hair is sticking up, it's going to find its way to come out again, or it's there for someone to keep poking at it. So while I'm trying to work out what's happening within me, I look down and I'm walking and I'm getting ready to jump over this. I wouldn't even call it a pothole because of where it was, but something that looks like a pothole. And it was filled with water because I guess it rained like before I started walking. And I noticed it was shaped like a heart. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's so beautiful, the way it's shaped like a heart and the little grass and stuff in it. But then my mind immediately like, no, but I'm still mad. I'm still troubled. I'm still bothered. And then I'm looking and there's leaves that are shaped like hearts and different things that's popping up in my view. And it's almost as if like my mind wants to be stuck on this thing that I'm bothered by. But it's almost like the universe, nature, keeps popping up and wanting to play with me and telling me, don't be such a bore. Don't be so serious, whatnot. A practical example of this is a story that I've told you guys before. When I was trying to open up my salon, and at the time I was renting a chair at someone else's salon, and I got up that day to go to work and I grabbed my towels because I was renting a station, so I was responsible for my own towels and everything. So I grabbed my towels out the dryer and put them in my hamper thing, and I jumped in my car and my car wouldn't start, nothing. So when that happened, I was frustrated. I was so angry because I'm in the process of building this salon and it's so freaking expensive. And it's like, it's expense after expense. And that day I had to go to the salon at some point in between clients to give the general contractor a check for $500 because some pipes that they had laid, something happened with the pipes and they had to re-dig up the cement and relay the pipes again. And that was an additional $500 that I did not calculate into everything that needed to be done. And I was stressed out because now something's up with the car. And the car that I had at the time, like the parts on that car was very expensive. So I'm like pissed off, stressed out, jump out the car, shut the door all mad, grab the towels and start walking to the shop. And on my way to walk into the shop, I'm crossing the street and there's construction workers working in the middle of the road. And one of the dudes yell at me, smile, it's not that bad. And some people might say he was catcalling, but that's not the energy I felt from it. He said, smile, it's not that bad. And even if he was catcalling, the timing was so perfect. Because when he said, smile, it's not that bad, something in my brain kind of clicked. I looked up and realized how beautiful the sky was, how nice of a day it was, and the fact that I was early. So I looked up and all of that flashed in my mind that quick, and I started smiling and realized how much of a brat I was being because of all the days for what's happening to happen. It happened on the most perfect day. And it was so convenient that my walk from home to the salon was like a 4-minute walk. So I'm walking and I'm smiling, get to the salon in time to fold my towels, put them away. I did my first client, asked her for a ride to take me down the street to my salon to give the GC the check, and she gladly took me and brought me back. Then did my other client or whatever, and my other client was like, honey, when is your graduation? And I said, oh, my graduation already passed. And she's like, but I told you, you know, that I wanted to go to your graduation. And I said, I didn't want to trouble you because to me, it's not a big deal. And that also shows my issue when it comes to receiving, not allowing people to celebrate me the way how they would like, feeling like I'm putting them out of their way to. But my mom had flown for my graduation and whatnot. And, you know, I told her, you know, no, you know, my graduation had passed. And she's like, that's not fair. I told you I wanted to be there. You should have gave me the chance to decide if not or whatnot. So I did her hair. She tipped really well. I thought nothing of it. She left. Then she came back, handed me an envelope. And she was like, you know, Open the envelope as soon as you can, but, you know, don't put it down carelessly or whatever. And I didn't have any clients at the moment. And the owner of the shop and a few other girls were sitting in the couch up front. And I opened up the envelope and their mouth dropped along with mine as there were 5 crisp $100 bills. So I called her and I'm like, hey, you made a mistake. There's too much money in this envelope. And she's like, no, darling. I didn't make any mistake. I told you, she was like, I told you I wanted to go to your graduation. I wanted to give you $1,000, but my mortgage is due. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was blown away. And later on, the mechanic called me and said that the wire on my battery was loose. So basically the universe wanted to bless me that day. And if the construction worker didn't help me to redirect my energy and take control of my situation by turning the temperature, turning the dial so I could be in alignment with the blessings that were coming in, I would have missed my blessings. So what I thought would have been a $500 negative day ended up being a positive, because, you know, that check that I wrote, even though I had the money, pretty much it's like my client paid for it. And of course I worked, I made money that day, and I didn't have to spend any on the car, which I was so nervous and stressed out about. So I share all that to say, today is one of those days where the universe wants to bless you. The universe wants to bring some kind of opportunity into your world, whether it is today, it is days from today, weeks from today, months from today. You're on the path to something. And if you notice and you keep noticing that different things are trying to pop up and shake you out of the mood that you're in, trust me, listen, it's worth it. It's worth it. So yeah, on my walk, I noticed everything was trying to get me to be in a positive mood. I haven't noticed for what it is yet. I feel like I'm getting glimpses of it, but I want to speak on it until I'm sure for sure. So that's what I'm getting. Ooh, you guys, and look at the card, the 2 of Wands in the upright position. It's like when you look at the Wands energy, it's fire, it's moving, it's motivation. And the 2 of Wands is, look at the person in the card. They have a globe in their hand. They're holding onto that stick. They're looking to see where they're going next. So you're going somewhere. You're being guided somewhere, and it's for a reason. And when it comes to the energies in today, you know, today is a day where you want to look around and use the amplification of Jupiter's blessings, you know, with the day adding up and reducing to number 3 vibration, and the power of the sun, with the sun in Aquarian energy and squaring Uranus and Taurus. You know, with these energies, it's so easy for us to look at how things are not working for us. And, you know, in worst case scenarios, get ourselves caught up in victim consciousness mindset. But to me, you know, life, the universe is like the little kid that wants to play with you. Like, start to notice the magic that's happening around you. Because noticing the magic that's happening around you and allowing yourself to get to a state of gratitude, that is going to keep you in alignment with that temperature that you need to be in order to be in alignment with something else that's the same temperature that wants to come into your world. Because like with my situation, when I was walking to work, I was pissed off first, and I'm looking at how everything is against me at the moment. I'm looking at how they just did work in the shop, and then boom, that situation came up and it's costing me $500. That did not factor in. Yes, I'm going to make it at the salon, but it's just so stressful. It felt like at the time my bank account was a cup with a hole in it. And every time I keep pouring water and it just keeps running through, I felt like someone who is underwater and you keep popping up and getting air. And when you think you're good, something happens and the water just takes you over again. And I remember, you know, shutting the car door, pissed off, and just feeling like it's not fair. Everything is just against me. Like, you know, look at what I have to pay $500 again out of nowhere, out of a mistake that, you know, I didn't make, but like I have to pay it. And then now the car won't start. I don't know what it is why this car won't start, but I know for, you know, any little thing with this car, like, is going to be expensive as hell. So I'm just walking and I'm pissed off. But thanks to that construction worker that took it upon himself to tell me, smile, it's not that bad. And when he said it, in my mind, I'm like, shut the hell up. Like, you know, like I was annoyed, like, don't talk to me or whatever. in a bad mood. I didn't say that, but like my whole energy said it. But then after I switched into gratitude, and gratitude aligned me with everything that was meant to come to me that day. Immediately, I looked up at the sky and realized that how much it's been raining all week. And the day that my car chose to do that, it's beautiful outside. The weather is nice and cool. I'm not late. I'm actually early. Like the minute he said that, I looked up and I had to be honest about what was happening. And like he was put there to help me to be prepared, or help me to align myself with what was for me. So I feel like some things like that will come up today, and you want to make sure you don't miss it. Gratitude will definitely put you in a good mood and help you to be in alignment with what's coming, because something's definitely coming, and we don't want to allow like the false evidence appearing to be real, fear, to block us from those things. Such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a natal chart awareness coaching session with me, or check out my exclusive content available only on Patreon, or become a part of the monthly meetup group on Patreon, the link to book with me and check out Patreon are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a yellow heart on the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.